Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Swami and you're watching Sweet Indian Reaction. And in today's video, I'm going to react to the podcast of Nescafe Basement Season 6, Episode 1. Because the thing is I reacted to two of the songs of Nescafe Basement Season 6 and I was not really impressed because I didn't really get that wow moment. And also they didn't have any of the BDS. I mean, of course, not that good enough with the information. And I just found out this podcast, so I was like, yeah, I really need some more information about Nescafe Basement, and that's why I decided to react on it. So yeah, guys, without any delay, let's jump into it and let's see if I can find some more information. Podcast Nescafe Basement Season 6, Episode 1. Let's.
Hi guys, what's up? My name is Maria Unera. I am your host today, and I've got the wonderful Mr. Rakae, who's going to be talking a little bit about some music, especially this season, Nescafe Basement Season 6. I'm really excited. So we'll introduce you to Mr. Rakae right over here. What's
Thank
up?
you.
How
Thank
are
you,
you?
Maria.
How's it going?
All good, all good. I think we just went through a whole
quick-
day of shoot,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, still going strong. I guess.
Amazing, amazing. I'm so stoked
well,
for this
thank you.
season.
Yeah.
You know, as someone who understands the layout of Nescafe Basement,
Yeah,
I had the
of course.
honor to be part of it in the yesteryears. I just wanted to understand a little bit about how this season is for you, and the song that you produced. How did that all come about?
Right. So I mean, I don't know how it was when you
Yeah,
started in your
it was a bit different back
previous
then.
years, huh?
Yeah.
Right. So I think initially what happened was that I was approached by someone from the team.
Okay.
And they said that we have a couple of options that we'd like to share with you,
Right.
and why don't you give them a listen and see what you like,
Amazing.
and maybe you could work with them,
Right.
work with those artists. So they sent me a couple. They sent me Ittihad.
Right.
They sent me a couple of their tracks, and they sent me Sania Shahzad's
Amazing.
some of her recordings.
Right.
So then what I heard Ittihad's Saaqi,
Right.
which is the song that
That's the name of the
you know,
song, guys.
That's the name of the song. And I was instantly sold when I heard it.
Amazing. Yeah.
I heard the other one, but I said this one has something in
Some
it,
flavor.
some flavor.
Right.
It's just, it's authentic. It's got that earworm kind of a
Right.
feel,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the melody just sticks into your head, and I
Yeah.
feel that.
It's catchy.
It's catchy. Like Sindhi
Right.
music is just something that
Yeah.
sort of sticks with you once the first time you hear it.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next
Yeah.
question. So I believe that this band is from Hyderabad. You told me earlier,
Yes, definitely.
and so they focus on like the Sindhi language,
Exactly.
which is what they're
Yeah.
doing in this song as well.
Which is what they're doing.
So
exactly.
that's really interesting. I feel like, how did that come about? Like, how did you just know that English and Urdu is going to make sense?
Like-
Because it's quite tricky, you know, as an English
Yeah.
singer myself, whenever somebody approaches me to do a fusion,
Right.
सबसे मुश्किल part वही होता है when you're just like, but how do I make it
Make it work.
aesthetically work to your ears, you know? So was that
Right.
challenging for you?
I think at
because it's
first-
3 different languages.
Yes, totally. I think the person who wrote it, actually, so it's an original by the Ittihad band.
Right.
And it was written by this one of their managers, G.A. Sumro.
Oh wow.
So, once I got to understand the meaning, and it was sung by Zan, who's the main vocalist.
Right.
And once I got to understand the meaning, it was like all about this man who's sort of professing his love. Saaqi is basically sort of the man's obsession.
Right.
And he's just talking about how, he, if he
Expressing
ever,
his love.
Yeah, if he ever
Right.
sees her somewhere in the crowd, and then
Wow.
he's sort of,
So poetic.
it is very poetic.
Very poetic.
And when you hear the song, like the language, it's
Yeah.
just so poetic.
I
Anyway.
think this also, I believe like
Yeah.
in this season there's a lot of original music as well. So I
Yes.
think this
which is amazing.
this song specifically probably gives out that
Exactly.
that oomph that
Right.
people have been craving. That's really cool. How was it working with Ittihad and Sanya?
Yeah. So once we understood the meaning, then we called Sania in,
Right.
and then so we had a session with me. She came over to my studio, and we
Amazing.
sort of, and I had my team of one or two people. We sort of, brainstormed. We discussed, what would make sense, in such a song where this girl's coming in to sing.
Right.
So we thought she has to sort of sing something that sort of contrasts.
Right, because she
What
has a
the-
very unique voice also.
She has a unique voice.
Sanya
and
has a very her tonality is very
it's soft.
It's soft.
Yeah,
It's soft,
it's
and
soft.
she's. We were also discussing how Sanya Shahzad is a great vocalist. She
Oh,
really
yeah.
knows how to give really good harmonies,
harmonies
as well.
were beautiful.
And I think that's like the most difficult part being a singer, especially a female singer, when
Yeah.
you're doing something that's very dominating in a different language. तो वो
For
fusion
sure.
बनाना भी, I'm sure it must be a little.
I feel like
I'm
the-
sure it was
yeah.
challenging at some point.
It was challenging, but the lyrics, that was the more challenging part.
Right, how to match it.
Yeah.
So did you have control in pairing Sanya and the band?
Yes, I think.
Or were you given like multiple options on who?
I was given options.
Okay.
And then when I heard Sanya's a couple of her demos, and some stuff she did on Instagram, and I thought, yeah, this will work in some ways. 'Cause
Yeah.
she has this soft, but also assertive tone in her
Right.
voice.
Yeah.
And
काफी depth भी है.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of depth, and so when she came over, we talked about, okay, so this guy's talking about his love for Saaqi, right, and for this woman. Should we make it a sort of love story, or should we talk about how this woman is just very full of herself,
Right.
and she's like, no, it's not going to happen ever. So I think that was more fun.
Right. वो थोड़ी सी
know?
मुझे I remember when I heard the song अभी
Yeah.
वो I could feel a bit of like, and not, don't take this the
जी.
wrong way, थोड़ी सी थी attitude, but like
Attitude.
in a very sassy sort of way, like इस तरह नहीं
बिल्कुल.
था कि मतलब like आप अगले बंदे को reject कर रहे हो.
हाँ,
But it
मुझे-
was very, I quite enjoyed what she was also saying.
Yeah,
What she was
I thought she
singing.
came up with some good lyrics. बहुत मतलब English में तो वैसे ही I think it was
हाँ,
quite natural for
forte,
her.
हाँ.
Urdu was a challenge.
I'm sure.
Because I think
'Cause मैं तो नहीं लिख
मैं-
सकती उर्दू में.
हाँ, मुझे भी
It's a challenge
मुश्किल
indeed,
होता है।
like because I think it's a very sensitive language.
It is.
अगर आप कुछ भी कहो, like
जी.
गाओ, लिखो, and if you say it wrong, if you sing it wrong, incorrect,
Of course, then
तो वो
it's
सारे
very unforgiving.
haters फिर आ जाते हैं, वो कहते हैं ओए.
Yeah,
They're like, hey.
totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
तो वो उसका भी डर था. तो
I'm
हमने
sure.
we kept it simple. वही जाके तारे सारे तोड़ लाओ. Basically वो कह रही है कि आप कुछ भी कर लो, मैं तो बिल्कुल आपके पास नहीं आऊँगी.
नहीं आऊँगी.
हाँ.
Like
मैं
I'm
आपकी
an
नहीं होंगी
independent
कभी.
woman.
So yeah, in a way, it was like if you look at the spiritual aspect, अगर
Right.
उसको आप metaphorically देखो, you'll think about. I thought about it like that कि कि ये एक सूफी बंदा है और वो express कर रहा है कि
Right.
मैं मुझे चाहिए enlightenment, जिसको कहते हैं ना, मुझे
Yeah.
वज्द जिसको कहते हैं, और she's represents the
Amazing.
enlightenment and
Fun.
unattainable है.
Would you do you see yourself making more music with them?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I love
Individually
their vibe.
or-
बिल्कुल. I feel Sanya has good songwriting skills, and I would
Yeah.
love to produce some of the
Sanya
tracks.
Sanya has also been at it, mashallah से वो कब से कर रही है, I think
बिल्कुल.
since 2017 or
She was in
16.
NESCAFÉ
She was
before,
also in
बिल्कुल.
NESCAFÉ back in season 4.
And you worked with her, right?
That was when I was also I did my
Nice.
little part
Amazing.
in NESCAFÉ basement. Honestly,
Yeah,
it
that was
feels quite interesting to be on the other side. I feel like मैंने life में graduate कर ली है.
All right.
It feels like, oh,
I
tell
get it,
me.
yeah. Come
Let's
the young
compare
ones.
experiences.
Right.
Well, of course, ज़माना different ही था. बेशक 8 साल या 10 साल. It was a
बिल्कुल.
different time, but nothing brings me more joy जब मुझे खबर मिलती है कि music is still being produced, and it's also being produced by people like you.
Oh, no, thank
And then
you.
there's what I am very excited about this season is that not only is it new individuals, but it's also
Yeah.
each and every single music producer is quietly chosen according to the
Yeah.
vibe and the feel of
Totally.
today's music, and also the people that they've got on board. I'm really, really stoked.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the rest of the.
How was the
songs.
experience of the video shoot for you? Like,
Oh, it was very.
it matched
yeah,
everything.
I think from.
Was it fun? Because I feel like
Yeah.
audio, जब भी आप वो बनाते हो, whatever, the visual experience enhances your song. So.
बिल्कुल.
Was that something that you also envisioned when you were making the music?
Yeah.
I know a lot of producers often like उनको भी like वो होता है, you know, they're like, oh, maybe we could see this while this and that, whatever, I don't know.
Well, at first when जब हमने रिकॉर्ड किया था, जब सारे आए थे, you know, एक तो वो वाइब बहुत instantly match हो गई थी.
That's the most important part.
क्योंकि all of them came to the studio, Sanya was there, and I think we all had a good time recording. There was no stress in that way. Even though we had only that one day for them to come and record.
Wow.
And but it was still done smoothly. You know, their instruments and एक हंसी मजाक का माहौल भी होना चाहिए, एक लाइट माहौल होना चाहिए, and I very firmly believe that you know you can't work in that kind of
you can't be
stressful
too serious.
environment.
I feel like art generally,
बिल्कुल.
like any form of art, there needs to be some sort of leeway.
Yes.
जहाँ दोनों, be it in music or even in film, like both parties, you know, the people behind the show and in front of it, like you guys need to have some sort of otherwise वो vibe नहीं आती,
बिल्कुल,
the way the kids say it these
and
days.
in the shoot it was the same. My first time being in such a
yeah,
shoot
that was
like
going to be my next question. So how does it feel to be,
I mean I've done other
I know you've been
kind of
doing this
shoots.
for a long time.
But this one was
it new, fresh?
I felt it was fresh because ek to I'm playing that electric sitar as well as, you know, sort of doing that production stuff. So this is a song where I'm doing both things.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So I think for me, I liked exploring that side,
so
and
music,
I was
so
jumping
musically
up and down.
and instrumentally, there's like you mentioned that there's the sitar.
Yeah, I've
and
added
then
a
are
bit
there
of
any
sitar.
like cool new instruments that we should look out for
I
in
feel
this
like
song?
So I've used the sort of electronic version of the sitar. So I've
Okay,
made it
cool.
a bit more,
Yeah.
you know, modern. The sound थोड़ा ज़्यादा जैसे वो traditional sitar का sound होता है उससे थोड़ा सा हटके.
Okay, nice.
And you know, just played added effects to it.
Cool.
उसके अलावा, you know, there's certain vocal sort of chops
Very
that we
cool.
use in it.
As
And
samples.
yeah,
Nice.
exactly, as samples.
Cool.
You know, some little, you know, sounds. The harmonium really worked really well. और मज़ेदार उसके जो है ना छोटे छोटे जो बजा रहा था.
Little runs.
Little runs.
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
the riffs
yeah.
that he played. And
That's quite hard to play in the harmonium.
oh yeah. And he was just perfect.
Because like there's a lot of sustained notes I feel in the harmonium.
But when because he plays like intricate melodies really fast, and I think those really worked in those
Cool.
short bursts.
I think that's what I love the most about our Pakistani producers, that you always, like, people, at least from my experience, like हमेशा यही होता है कि you try to include as many traditional instruments as
बिल्कुल,
possible.
बिल्कुल.
Because of course we live in 2024, बहुत modern times and everything is very influenced by the West, which is good because
is
you learn that
fine.
way. But then I think it's also important, and I really feel it in this song as well, that both cultures are
That's what
enhanced.
I tried my best to make that happen, because
awesome.
you can't एक तो आप यहाँ के हैं, पाकिस्तान के
Yeah,
हैं,
you gotta make your country
आपको
shine.
फख्र होना चाहिए कि
Yeah.
आप अपने साजों को दिखा रहे हैं, अपने
Of course.
म्यूजिक को
Yeah.
आप
That's a good thing.
And I love
represent कर
that
रहे हैं
it's
इसमें.
Sindhi. Like there's just something about that
बिल्कुल.
uniqueness that comes out. मुझे बहुत like खुशी हुई सुन के अभी
really,
पीछे. I was
same
listening
here.
to the song and I was like, nice.
No, I'm so glad. Thank you.
Listening to it and it sounds like a Rakae song, by the
Oh
way.
wow, okay.
It sounds like a song that was
that
produced.
means a lot.
And I
Yeah.
think it's the sitar, and I think it's like the
Right.
harmonium and the piche and the little chops that you're talking about.
Yeah.
All of these factors highlight the producer. I feel like producers don't get enough credit to
Right.
music songs, in my opinion. I feel now obviously times are different.
Times are different,
अब highlights हो रहे हैं,
थोड़े बहुत हो रहे हैं,
which is great,
which is
because
great.
back in the day, you know, हमेशा यही होता था कि okay, you talk about the songs, you talk about the vibe, you talk about the meaning, and then you talk a little bit about the producer.
About the producer, exactly.
But I
now,
love that
like,
we're highlighting the producers.
Bilkul, I think the times have changed, and you know, it's all about that sound. you can have a good song, but if it's not sort of, अगर वो उसका जो soundscape है वो सही ना हो,
Yeah.
तो वो it'll fall short.
Do you have any goals for how people will perceive the song? Do you have any? I know most
I hope they
producers.
just connect to it. I hope they
Yeah.
enjoy listening to it. That's my main thing. I want
Yeah.
them to connect with it emotionally. I want them to just vibe. I want them to move their
Yeah.
heads to it. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And I hope they have a sense of pride in
Yeah.
our cultural sort of gems.
Amazing.
And I think this is one of them.
Amazing. Do you have any like, if you were to describe the vibe of this song, how would you
I feel
describe it?
It's very energetic. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
I
it's
felt it was a bit
groovy.
groovy.
Yeah, it's got that sort of
Funk.
funk and sort of a very head bopping vibe.
Right.
मतलब कि
Yeah. So it's
you
an
want to
upbeat
move your head
song.
to it.
It's an upbeat.
It's an upbeat song for sure.
Awesome.
And with a bit of a drop, because I think that's important कि आप लोग एक गाने में अगर straight line की तरह ना चले वो
Yeah.
बिल्कुल up
I
and
quite
down
like
होना
the
चाहिए,
part कि
dynamic
Sanya
होना
के
चाहिए.
part से पहले when the
बिल्कुल.
song breaks down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think a collaboration song is always highlighted जब अगले singer की introduction की space होती है.
बिल्कुल.
For example
हाँ.
कि like जैसे first chorus ख़त्म हुआ है.
Yeah.
And then musically everything went a little dialed down.
Exactly.
It's like a classic NESCAFÉ basement thing.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I'm glad. Because
I always hear
right.
it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like back in the day it would always be like जब कोई नई इंस्ट्रूमेंटल पार्ट भी अगर हम इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे होते थे वो एक सेगवे होती है. It would like pass on and it would be like okay अब वो part आ रहा
Right.
है. So
and I remember listening to NESCAFÉ
Yeah.
the previous songs और वो बहुत मैंने सीखा
Yeah.
उन गानों से
yeah
काफी ज़्यादा.
कैसे yeah.
हाँ.
And I really felt it with the track abhi when I was
Yeah.
listening to it. I was like, all right, I can tell like Sanya's about to come
Yeah.
and she's about to
I wanted
sing.
that premonition के भाई एक आने वाला है.
And it
एक
sounds
और part,
grand.
yeah.
I mean I can't wait to hear it properly in better speakers.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm quite excited
Oh,
for
thank you.
and for the band and for Sanya and
Yeah,
especially
they're all wonderful. I think we
back in
can-
the day we
yeah.
used to do that. I used to post a Facebook status in Islamabad
Right.
because it was easier to gather people over there. मैं हमेशा लिखती थी कि like to the musicians of Islamabad / Rawalpindi, like we are meeting up at so and so and so. Bring your instruments. और एक
Right.
दफा 50 लोग आ गए थे.
Oh, wow,
Imagine like
okay.
we had you name or the instruments. You name it. Like it was the guitarist, a pianist showed up with like a whole.
Oh, wow.
And people are bringing their amps
People are
and
starving
like
to just
yeah,
express
and this was
themselves.
10 years ago.
Wow.
But so I can imagine कि ये boys ने क्या किस तरह वो
Oh, definitely.
amazing. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
they've been around. So people know
People
them.
do know
and
them.
and
I
they're
think the
based in
people here-
Hyderabad, right?
Based in Hyderabad.
Cool.
And I think they
Awesome.
performed the day before the shoot. They were performing somewhere in.
Amazing. That's the
know,
hustle,
so,
man. That's
yeah,
the hustle.
that's
Honestly,
good.
I keep every year, थोड़ी सी ironic बात है. Every year, everyone always says कि this is the year for Pakistani music.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is. Every single
I
year
feel like,
is
yeah.
the year.
Definitely.
You've been around. I'm sure आपने evolution देखा होगा
Yeah.
music का.
Yeah, yeah.
कि कहाँ से
One thing
किधर
for sure,
कहाँ
that
तक पहुँचे
Pakistani
and how
music is
people
growing.
process and
It's
work
growing
and
big.
manage and
It's going
I think जो
worldwide.
brainstorming sessions होती है ना हर music song की I think वो भी evolved हुई है.
वो भी बोलते हैं.
Right?
बिल्कुल.
Like it's very
Yeah.
different now. I feel like because everything is so digitalized or computerized,
Yeah.
like it doesn't take as long as how it used to.
Yes, for sure. Not anymore.
I think it's a bit
I
more.
mean, if I'm sitting here and someone else in Karachi, हम आसानी से we can exchange ideas.
We did that.
And
we did that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did that on a
We did
project.
that on a project as
बिल्कुल.
well. That's right. And
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it. Like
That's the
that's
beauty of it.
also the beauty of music. There's no limits to
There's no limits.
any kind of
And
collaboration.
there's more autonomy ना आपको अब ज़्यादा एक वो होता है you are in control of
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah.
You don't have to depend on other people now.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Beauty.
beauty and the positive factor of technology
Yes.
in music.
Yeah.
कि भाई अब शुक्र है कि मैं खुद चीज़ें कर सकता हूँ अगर मैं सीखूँ और
Yeah.
मेरे अंदर वो पैशन हो
Cool.
कि मैं करूँ.
Wow.
So you can be your own producer, you can be your own singer, you can be your own everything.
Amazing. Wise words
So
from
I
Mr.
like that.
Rakae. You can be your own producer, your own everything.
I think so.
Sweet. I'm really stoked to watch the video now.
Yeah, same
Like I
here.
said, putting something like visually to what you're listening to
Yeah.
really enhances the track as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add to
Well-
maybe encourage the people to come out and listen to this track, or anything that you'd like to mention about this song?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank NESCAFÉ for getting us together, for introducing me to these artists, because
Amazing.
without them I wouldn't have known about them. So thank you. And yeah, I just think that whoever's going to listen to the song, I think they'll take it in, they'll absorb it, they'll have fun with it,
Yeah.
they'll vibe to it, and you won't regret taking those 4 minutes out of your life listening to that song.
Amazing.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun experience. I think it's something you can listen to
While
when you're
driving.
with a group
Oh,
of friends.
yeah.
You can listen to when you're driving.
Yeah. Felt like a road trip song, really.
Yeah, right.
It's a nice,
Yeah,
cute
that
song
too.
to listen to at the back when you're
Exactly.
driving.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's good.
मुझे यही वही मैं कह रही हूँ ना कि
Maybe
मैं
at shadis.
maybe maybe
Maybe.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like whenever I listen to a song और मुझे नहीं पता कि उसकी क्या हो गई म्यूजिक वीडियो में, हमेशा अपने दिमाग में, I guess that's an artist thing. I'm not sure.
Everyone's got their own
Everybody's different.
interpretation, yeah.
But for me, I was just like, oh, this would be a sick song to listen to while driving, like on the
Cool, yeah.
roads of Sindh. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just being
I
artistic.
should try.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you, if you haven't already, check out the song Saaqi by the band Ittihad featuring Sanya Shazad, produced by the one and only Mr. Rakae. If you haven't heard it, head over to NESCAFÉ Basement's YouTube channel or Spotify and check out the song, support local music, comment below, let us know what you guys think. And if you really like them, then also go over to their pages and support them there, because zaruri hai. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys soon. Have fun. Take care.
Well, that was a good video. That was a good information, and I really liked it. But I think now this is my observation, and this is what I think is going to happen. That they're going to have a podcast after every song, because in this podcast they only talked about the first song, Saaqi. Even though Raki, he didn't get that much to talk about because she was the one who was talking all the time. But anyway, this was a good information. It was really good information. I liked it, and I'm looking forward for some more songs. I have listened the second song as well, Yuhi, which was featuring Hadia Hashmi and Talal Qureshi, and also Towers. I think they are the band. Yeah. So I think they're gonna come up with another podcast about that song. So I think instead of behind the scene or the magical journey, it's gonna be the podcast after every song explaining the project. Uh, but that's good. Something different, done in a different way. Always believe, like, it doesn't matter what you do. What matters is how you do it, kind of. So I really like this style, and I'm really impressed. The only thing which I'm hoping now is that they bring up really something uh, really impactful, that I will get that wow movement. At the same time, I'm really happy and I'm really proud at the same time to say this, that yeah, Pakistani music has been growing since Coke Studio season 14 and 15, and now Nescafe Basement. Also the artists. I mean, there has been so many projects in last 2 or 3 years, if I would say. So yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really excited because I'm learning so much and I'm growing myself. So yeah, guys, I loved it, and I hope you loved it as well. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Please share and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click on that bell icon so that you can get the notification of my upcoming video. And I will see you soon. But until then, goodbye, take care, and be safe.